Should you partner with a large or a small fulfillment company for your e-commerce third-party logistics? There's a lot of things to consider here, and today we're going to go through some of the main pros and cons. Let's start with the big boys, the behemoths of the fulfillment industry. Okay, these guys have several advantages. Firstly, they've stood the test of time. Once you make an arrangement with a large fulfillment company, you know they're not going bankrupt the following months and you'll have wasted your time. Their systems have stood the test of time too. They actually work. So if you get a surge of orders at Christmas time, for example, loads of people on your website making a bunch of orders, the big fulfillment companies are going to be able to deal with that because they've seen it many times before. The other advantage of a big company is they often have sweet deals with the shipping companies, lots of savings that they're going to be able to pass on ultimately to you. And finally, I would say with the big guys, they're more likely to have connection with foreign fulfillment companies. So if you want to expand your operations abroad and you sell to Canada and Australia and all these far-flung places, you're going to be able to do that with the bigger warehouses a bit easier than the small guys. Now, there are some downsides of the big fulfillment companies. First of all, they don't really need your business. They don't really have to care about you. They have so many customers already that they don't really have to worry about bringing you on board, particularly if you're a smaller e-commerce business. And that puts them in a strong negotiating position, which ultimately could lead to higher costs for you. Secondly, the bigger guys, they tend to have like loads more staff. They've got lots of layers of management, sales reps, that kind of thing. And sometimes these higher costs are passed on to you. They also might have to pay more taxes to the government because sometimes government prefers little companies as opposed to the larger ones. And so again, these are costs that might have to be ultimately borne by you as a customer. The other disadvantage of a large fulfillment company, in my experience, is they tend to have crappy IT systems. Now that may seem strange, but what a lot of the big guys have done over the years is back in the 90s, they invested in bespoke IT systems to run their warehouses and inventory management. And often these IT systems are completely outdated and don't work, and they have to employ a full-time person just to fix bugs in the system. And that's going to create errors in your orders and higher costs for you as well. Now, moving on to the small guys and sticking with that point about IT, the small guys have a big advantage in that they can't afford bespoke IT systems. So they tend to buy an off-the-shelf version. And in the last few years, there's been a whole good range of really good off-the-shelf IT packages specifically for fulfillment companies that have come out. So often the smaller guys have better IT systems. Go figure, right? The second advantage of the small guys is that you'll typically be dealing with the owner of the business. And what does that mean? It means that the owner is going to be more attuned to your needs. He or she is going to be able to put together a package, a service that works for your business and is probably done at a better cost as well. Another advantage of the small guys is they just have lower costs in general because they have a flatter organizational structure. Often it's just the owner and then everyone else is doing the package. They don't have all these middlemen kind of clogging up the system, causing more bureaucracy and taking up more money. The small guys, of course, they do have their disadvantages as well. Maybe they haven't been around for as long, and so who knows whether they'll even be in business next month. Maybe they're not used to dealing with massive surges in orders, and so it might take them a little bit longer to hire in those temporary staff and know how to deal with the problems that come up. But overall, I have a soft spot for the small guy, as you can probably tell in this video. And probably the biggest reason right now is I'm filming this during the COVID-19 pandemic. And one thing that's really amazed me is how many of the big e-commerce operations have had to stop trading in recent months because their fulfillment operations have let them down, whether they're in-house or outsourced. They just haven't been able to adapt and get in the social distancing rules, or maybe their staff have just not wanted to come into work because of health fears. Now with the small companies, you tend to have, they're just more able to adapt. They can respond quickly and put in social distancing measures, keep certain staff at home, have other staff who really want to come in and still work for the business will do that. Or maybe if it's a family business, it'll be everyone in the same household coming in and keeping the show on the road, picking and packing the orders to keep your business working. And I would say uptime, minimizing the downtime that you might face working with a fulfillment partner is absolutely crucial for your business. So bigger is not necessarily better. Make sure that you're fully aware of that and consider all of these points. Quick plug at the end of my video. I have a really cool blog post. I put in a lot of time to writing this. It's called Choosing Your Fulfillment Partner for Your E-Commerce Fulfillment, the last post you'll ever need. If you go on my website, fulfilly3pl.com, and Google and search for the last post you'll ever need. You'll find it. Give it a read. It will tell you everything that you could possibly need to know about outsourcing your e-commerce logistics. Go check it out. Thanks for listening, guys.